Hello and welcome to the AH Academy on this incredibly blustery day down at the Springs in Oxfordshire. Fantastic golfing venue, catering for all your golfing needs. Today I'm thrilled to be joined by our very own Tyger Drew Honey. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
Good to see you. How are things?
Yeah, things are very well, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. It's
Pleasure.
It's a beautiful day. The wind's a bit much, but at least we've got the sun and we've got some golf to be doing, so yeah.
Well, it's certainly going to test out your ball striking capabilities, that breeze.
Oh yeah, totally. It's probably, I mean, if it was, you know, on a day like this, I probably wouldn't play golf. So I would have never had really a chance to, say, practice in conditions like this. So it might be good practice.
Tyger, of course, needs very little introduction. British actor, documentary maker and presenter. Talk to me a little bit about your golf and where you're at with your golf, Tyger.
So I first got into golf when I was about 12, had a few lessons and enjoyed the game, but then growing up just didn't lose interest but gained more interest in other things. Picked it back up a couple of years ago, but I've only really been, you know, I would say falling in love with it in sort of the last 6 months and really getting passionate and wanting to play every week. So yeah, going forward, I hope I play golf for the rest of my life with the same tenacity.
Fantastic.
I know I've got a lot of work to do. There's a few areas of my game you know, I've got work to do there, and also sometimes the mental aspects get on top of me as well. But it is a really fun sport, and there's nothing more satisfying than hitting a good golf shot. So I hope with your help I can hit some more of them.
Right, well I'm sure we can do that. I think today what we'll do then, we'll have a good look at your overall swing mechanics. We'll get you on the video, we'll do some down the line face on, use V1, use TrackMan, have a look at the ball flight, and then put a little plan together to hopefully get you to go away and work on it and then see how it goes.
Yeah, great.
Sound good?
Sounds great. Thank you,
we do it?
man. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Okay, oof.
Whoa.
Whoa. This is a proper links test of golf today, Tyger.
It is, isn't it, Just?
Okay, so I'm going to film you down the line. Okay, so keep that rhythm. That's it. Okay, much better release.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm going to come and film you face on.
All right.
Okay.
God.
Leaking a little bit. Strike was better, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It's leaking a little bit on the wind.
Like it wouldn't leak. I feel like the wind must be accentuating it slightly because it's extreme, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, so we get
happen,
one more down the line.
That much.
Oh, much better contact, Tyger. Totally different sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, that felt good.
Totally different sound.
That one did
Okay.
feel good.
Okay, so if I show you this is V1 down the line. Okay, there's a couple of points here that I'd like you to just consider in terms of your overall posture positioning.
Yeah.
Yep, the kind of body angle. So we spoke earlier a little bit about spine angle.
Yeah.
And being able to really hinge from your pelvis, tipping forwards. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So over time, I'd really like to sharpen that up just to give you a better foundation. But I think the key thing, and it would be interesting to see what TrackMan tells us, but the key thing from a video perspective here is, can you see how when you start moving the club back to halfway, your body rotation kind of stops?
My arms go around. Yeah.
You see that move there? It's like it's really good to halfway back, but then the right shoulder basically stops and the hands and arms just lift.
Just lift, yeah.
So you're not really completing that pivot and coil, which is what gets the club quite a long way outside as you
Way
attack.
out, isn't it?
Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I mean, if I put another coloured line here, look, you know, you'd see it's almost through the neck. Yeah. So what we're trying to achieve here is the club to shallow a little bit more and return to the starting plane. So you can see as well the release just wants to wander a little bit left.
Left.
Yeah.
That's what either leaks right or stays left.
Absolutely, yeah. So from like a biomechanical stance, does that make sense in terms of if we over time develop a slightly deeper rotation? Yeah. Right, okay. So if you take up your normal address position, how you would normally go about addressing the golf ball, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what I'd really like you, so number one, and this is, again, it's going to be a work in progress.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we can just improve that pelvic tilt, just a little bit more of this kind of tipping from the hip. Yeah, exactly.
Is that, do you get a sense of feeling slightly more on top of the ball?
Absolutely. I mean, really, I want your body weight to feel like it's more towards the balls of the feet, not the heels.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, okay. And I'd like to just widen out your foundation, so get you standing a little bit wider with the feet.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so you're flexing, your centre of balance now is much more neutral.
Okay.
That's really good. If we can crack that, it's going to make it easier for the upper body and the shoulders to complete the rotation.
Okay.
So I'm going to work you back to halfway. So if you move the club to halfway back and stop, fantastic. Right, stay there. Now, what normally happens with you is you finish it off that way. Yeah? So what we've really got to get you feeling over time is that's my finish to the top of the backswing. Okay?
Yeah.
Then as you start down, it's going to be shallower, and then you'll be able to attack the ball more from in to square to in, rather than on that line.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is all about feelings, isn't it?
Yes,
really?
it feels very athletic. More, you know, it feels more, feels bigger and feels a bit more complicated than I'm just kind of used to just doing it so sort of nonchalantly, I suppose.
I think possibly what it might be is that you, for quite a long period, you've relied predominantly on hands and arms.
Yes.
And you haven't yet activated the bigger muscles in the torso to create what I call the spiral rotation. Okay, so it's a three-dimensional coil. So just show me another practice backswing, Tiger, where we really load that right side. Okay, good, stay there, that's it. Now, can you see where this left arm is? It's much more underneath the chin line, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not creeping up here to give you that choppy move on the way down. Okay, so that's your position.
To keep it under the chin.
Look what's happened to this right side as well.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel like a contortionist right now. I know it's
I
not.
mean, you don't look like one.
I know, but I don't. I've never moved all of the different parts of my body at one go for a swing before. Is what I was really trying to say a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like lots of different moving parts at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
More
sure.
so than previously.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we're going to pop that on a slightly better lie for you. So we're not forgetting all that really good work we did with ball positioning and the foundation just slightly wider to give you a better base. Feeling this pelvic tilt here, okay? Much better flexing the weight over the middle of the feet, okay? Yeah. All right, it's good, very good. Okay, now show me that practice backswing and stop. Fantastic. I mean, if you could get me here, that's just awesome because
I know what you said about the arm under the chin. That's kind of breakthrough for me. I think I know that's quite a simple way to simplify everything. But I can aim for that every time and know that it's kind of in the right place.
Yeah, and can you feel this activating as well here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Oh yeah.
Good.
Let's see if I can connect with the ball.
Let's see if we can put that into a swing then, Tiger, into a real-time full movement. Oh, fantastic. Look at the neutrality of the spin. So it starts. I mean, you tell me the feels.
Feels different, and I'm glad I connected with the ball because I think getting used to something different, that'll be the issue initially.
Right.
But I think that, you could just tell, that the ball flight, it was going in one direction and that was pretty much where it was going to go. I wouldn't have had to worry about that ball. And I think, if I can dial into doing that more often, it's going to help me a lot, basically.
I mean, I think one of the things we spoke about earlier with golf, because it is a stationary ball game, often when you make some changes, it's like one step back to go 3 steps forward.
Yes.
And I think if we can just get you to kind of buy into that approach.
Yeah, because every time I've got up to address the ball before, I've wrongly thought, oh, this is my position, and so muscle memory wise, I'm so comfortable getting into it.
Well, and you make a really good point though there about muscle memory.
And just changing that slightly, if I can keep doing that, I should become comfortable in the better position.
Absolutely. The key thought for you that helped you kind of blend that into your overall swing was the feeling of the left arm more under the chin.
It was actually, yeah, it was.
Okay. All right, well, let's stick with that, but let's not lose all the good work we've done with posture. So hip hinge, flexing a little bit more. So what that does, Tyger, it takes the pressure out of the quads, okay? So by having the hips, the pelvis further back and the knees a little bit more to here, softens it for you in the quads. Weight over the balls of the feet, fantastic. Now just show me your thought on the way back.
What I'm going to do now?
In terms of what you're thinking about now with your left arm. Okay, fantastic, right. Okay, back to address. Now let's see if we can replicate that in the full swing. Oh, so close.
Slightly,
so
but
close.
Again, better, much better.
Okay, didn't quite match up your new release pattern, because that's the other thing. With the golf swing, it's a chain reaction.
Yeah.
So how you set up to the ball and how you move the club away from the ball predetermines the whole motion itself. So we're basically creating a different position on the way back. We then need to bolt in the right release.
And does that come with, I know it might be a bit of a cliche, kind of trying to keep this arm, my right arm, closer?
Well, the arms really react to the body. So the more we get the big muscles in the torso, the trunk behaving on the right planes and rotating, the hand, arm and club action just reacts to what the body does. I think over the years a lot of and good players as well have gone down the route of thinking too much about isolated positions and getting quite technical.
Okay.
It's got to flow, really has got to flow. And I think you're more of a field player rather than point to point to point to point to point.
Yeah.
So I think if we can give you something where you can actually feel a position rather than 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock and so on. Okay, good. I'm going to get you on now down the line so you can see what the posture's done.
Okay.
So if you take your address position for me. Okay, so you can creep it a little bit. You're going a bit too far away there, Tyger. So you can creep a little bit closer to the ball. That's it. As long as you maintain the discipline with your hip hinge, flexing of the knees and keeping the weight really over the balls of the feet.
Yeah.
Okay, can you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay, good. And then I want you to just show me a little practice backswing with your thought, with your left arm. Okay, good, very good. Okay, now back to address. Now we're going to see if we can replicate that and hit the ball. Good. Good. Okay, much better. So if I show you this, Tyger, so we got towards the beginning and this is where we are now.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you kind of see the difference with the spine angle, certainly the actual pelvic tilt. Yeah. The middle of your pelvis is just so much more athletic.
I was going to say, it certainly looks more like you would see someone address the ball on the PGA Tour, and I've never really thought that before, but it actually does look really quite amateurish now, the original one, now in comparison. You're right, athletic and just looks a bit more expert.
Yeah, it's got some dynamics to it as well.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about a lot is the S-shaped posture here.
Yeah, that is an S-shaped posture.
So your pelvis is tucked under, yeah? And you just haven't really, you're not set up well enough to make the sort of movements that you need to make.
Yeah.
Whereas here, because we have got much clear, I mean, we can improve that more over time, but I don't want to make it unplayable for you, but much better flexing of the knees. You've actually now got your centre of gravity line here, much more through the balls of the feet, which is what I like to see. If we just move the club back, you'll also see how the left arm is now working much more on the body, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not drifting off it.
Yes.
So it's a much deeper rotation.
It's much further out, isn't it? Much further out. Because that's almost on that red line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's definitely, I can tell that's definitely the direction I need to move in.
If you look at the way this right hip is working on the way back as well, it's a much deeper coil, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see the belt line, the hip pocket's much more behind you.
Yeah.
Whereas here you've stopped the rotation, the right elbow is stuck underneath and that lead arm is just picking up. And the big thing for me, Tyger, is there is no real transition in your swing. It's from here straight back down on the outside. Yeah?
Yeah.
But obviously here now, because you've got this right hip sitting more behind you, you've got what I call a bit more of a transition, a drift to allow. I mean, it's still a little bit steep, but it's closer to where we need to get it to.
Yeah, I like the look of it. It looks better.
Right then, Tyger. So we'll have a look at TrackMan now. Is that your 7-iron?
Yes.
Yep. So if we calibrate you up with the radar, so you're pretty much on that 150-yard marker.
Okay.
Okay, that's your ball to target line. Ready when you are, sir. Oh, what a super contact.
Started a bit left.
Okay. Okay, we'll get another one on. Just going to slightly move the TrackMan to get you exactly on the line. Okay. Again, strike was a lot cleaner, wasn't it? But just slightly moving, yeah.
Bit groundy, that one.
Okay, so same target line again, Tyger.
Oh, that gust.
Oh. Oh, much more neutral, wasn't it? So if I just come and show you this here. So this is the summary screen really, what you can see. So interesting, really good club speed for a 7-iron.
Okay.
You know, pushing up to 80, which is good. Attack angle, -1, so 1 degree down. Okay, so
1 degree coming in like that.
Absolutely descending. Okay, and if you think about ball flight ballistics, as it were, iron shots you're hitting off the turf, you need to be able to trap the ball, squeeze the ball. Yep, so deliver the loft to create the spin to get it airborne. If you're hitting a driver off a tee, you'd be more ascending, so hitting up more.
Got you.
Yeah,
yes, got you.
So that's really good to see, actually.
Okay.
However, the area that we need to work on is this club path number here, so -7.4, so 7.4 to the left.
So it's going that way.
Absolutely. So the direction that your club head is moving on is what we call it from outside to in. Yeah, so going to the left basically.
Yes.
And if you think about what we spoke about with arm positioning at the top, just spinning out a tad early, it's all links into this number here. Spin axis, 14.7 degrees. So if you picture the aeroplane with the wings tilting either side, that's the axis of the spin on the golf ball.
Okay.
So when you does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Got you.
So when you don't match up what we call a square impact, so when the face doesn't match up to the path, you're imparting
that on the ball.
Absolutely. So that's quite a high number, which is giving you the left to right curvature. All of that we can deal with by sorting out club path.
Okay.
So I'm really delighted to see that these numbers are matching up to the swing mechanics work that we highlighted earlier on the video. Cause effect.
Yes.
So posture, how you start the move, left arm positioning at the top, getting it slightly shallower.
Okay.
What do you think? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's interesting to see the numbers. I've always known that I've got a bit of an out to in swing path, but 7.4 degrees is obviously quite a lot based on what I've seen other people having and stuff. So, and it's strange how I do kind of know that, and I sort of feel like I'm trying to combat it, but clearly I'm just not with what I've been doing. So. Yeah, it is, I think if I want to improve and not just stay the same level of golfer, that's what I really need to address. I think it's probably the first and most important thing to address is definitely swing path.
Absolutely. Right then, Tyger, so it's been a real pleasure having you today here at the Springs. I mean, it's a fantastic venue, isn't it, really? Gosh.
Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, tough conditions with the wind, real test to anyone's ball flight control.
Yeah, certainly.
So how do you think it's gone, and do you think you've got some good things to go away and work on?
Well, I've certainly, using some of the photography aspects, been able to, you know, see my swing in a way I haven't really seen it before, to actually have a proper look at it and to see kind of how out of line it was with what ideally it should be. And I can see how that leads to the issues I've been having generally with the left to right ball flight. And although I've kind of known that for a while, I think it's really good today that I've got some practical things I can go away and do to try and combat that. Just some of the little things you were saying about trying to keep my shoulder sort of underneath my chin, trying to keep above the ball and trying to sort of shallow as I come down. You know, it is going to be a bit of a growing pain period, sort of settling into it. But I really feel positive about having learnt something today. And I'm not just saying that.
Right,
so.
no, thank you. I mean, no pain, no gain with golf. Stationary ball game, and I think, as we said at the start, the static positions with posture, body angles, the whole thing is a chain reaction. So if we can tidy you up in those key positions, hopefully get the club moving slightly better. And as you say, you've got a really good thought for your left arm and the club at the top. I'm convinced we can then start working on the other things. So I've been really impressed. I think you move really well. It's just a case of tidying, polishing it up really, refining the posture, and then we can move on to hopefully pushing it on and see you again, hopefully not too long.
Yeah, great.
Well, thanks very much indeed. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.